Hey guys, so this video I think it's like a totally different than any of the videos that I've done previously because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I didn't know whether I wanted to do like a get ready with me. I wasn't sure if I wanted to just do a regular tutorial of me doing like step-by-step things and telling y'all the products that I use, because I did get new products, so I was pretty hyped about that. But it took me some time. It took me probably like 5 days after I actually like filmed the video of the makeup to realize what I actually wanted to do. And I realized it's Sickle Cell Awareness Month. And people need to know a whole lot more about it than they do. And for me, my story is pretty extensive. I've learned a lot. I will be 20 in like 2 weeks. I'm super duper happy. But in my 20 years of living, I've been through a good bit, and I haven't really shared it with a lot of people. It's only been a few amount of people that truly know my life and know like my day-to-day routine with sickle cell. And truthfully, a lot of people that I know say that if it wasn't for me, they really wouldn't know about the condition, period. So I think sickle cell awareness, I think it's about informing others. I think it's about telling people about your story, sharing stories with other people that have it. And I wanted to take the opportunity to actually just share mine. So this is officially what this video is about. Okay, so getting started with the whole shebang, I have my own definition of sickle cell. Anybody that has it probably has like 10 different definitions. But to give people information of those who don't know about it, the Google definition is it's a hereditary form of anemia in which red blood cells become sickle-shaped and less able to carry oxygen throughout the body. So moving to my definition, whenever my blood cells are in the shape of like a crescent moon. If you haven't seen a crescent moon, if you've had a croissant before, that is exactly what it looks like. And some of my red blood cells are shaped like Cheerios. Everybody knows what a Cheerio looks like. So because the crescent shaped ones make my body unable to carry certain amounts of oxygen towards certain parts of my body, I always have to stay hydrated. I can't be in extreme temperature. So if it's really, really cold, I have to get out. If it's really, really hot, I have to bounce. Like, I can't do it because my body will have a pain crisis. And when a certain amount of cells concentrate in one area, it causes you to go in pain. And that's what a lot of people define as a pain crisis. When I was younger, I didn't really know necessarily like all of the details of it, but I knew when I didn't feel well. So for me to say that I knew at what age that I had sickle cell, I would probably say maybe around 6 or 7. And it was not because of my family. I would be very honest. My family was the very most supportive group of people. They still are. All of them never told me that something was wrong with me. And to this day, nothing is wrong with me. Like, this is just something that I deal with in my life. But I didn't know that, okay, Leslie, your behavior has to be a little bit different than everybody else's right now, because something in your body always has to be on point. And it's taken me a while. Like, I'm literally just getting on a schedule and listening to my body and knowing like what's good and what's not. So when I was younger, I had to drink a whole lot of water. I still do now. When I was in school, a whole lot of people would be like, why do you drink so much water? Why can't you be outside in the heat for too long? Why, if it's too cold, you always have to wear a jacket? And I was living in Maryland at the time. So if you are from that area, you know the winters are absolutely like no joke. So when the winter came, my mom made sure I had the coat, I had the scarf, I had the hat, the mittens, everything, because we wanted to avoid me getting sick as much as possible. So to equate it to something that a lot of people will understand, when people would get a cold, their cold could be maybe like 5 days. If I get a cold, I'm probably going to end up in the hospital because I would end up having pneumonia. I would start wheezing. My chest would start hurting. My back would start hurting. Everything would just go left. So my family kept me on a schedule all the time when I was younger. And when I started getting older, probably like all elementary school, it was straight. Every friend that I had was supportive. If I went in the hospital, like they would send me cards, like my teachers would send me cards. Everything was fine. So I knew if I did feel bad, that I could bounce back from it. The only thing that made things a little bit harder when I got to middle school. When I got to middle school, everybody knows when you're in middle school, you're crazy anyway, especially if you are a girl. So once I got, how old was I in middle school? I think I was like 12 or 13, and those are iffy ages, period. But I was going through a lot because I was sick. I think that was one of the hardest winters I ever experienced. So I was sick all the time, and I had people that would make fun of me because I missed class, or people would make fun of me if I was in a hospital for a really long time. People would say, "Oh, she's not really sick. She's just not wanting to come to class." Girl, it's 8th grade. The work can't be that hard. I'm obviously not here for a God-given reason, but people didn't understand it. So it made me probably the biggest introvert. I'm still an introvert, period, now, but it made me reluctant to tell people about my sickle cell. It made me revert back because I was more social when I was younger, but it made things a little bit harder. It made me judge people differently. It made me think that people were not really as sincere as they came out to be, because I would have people that would be cool with me before I got sick, and then as soon as I got sick, I would have like no contact with them, or I would have people that would only pop up because they wanted to be nosy and understand, like not even understand, but just know like why I was out so they could tell other people, and it made me shut down completely. I want to say 8th grade, I didn't want to have no friends. And when I moved to North Carolina, I met my best friend 3 days of me moving there. And I didn't tell her probably for maybe like 2.5 months. And she, like, one day, it was November, because the weather changed. That's all, I always get sick when the weather changes. And she was like, "What's wrong?" And I would say, "I just don't feel good." And she would be like, "Listen, you weren't at school for like 3 days. What's wrong?" And I actually got the courage to tell her that I had sickle cell anemia, and I was scared. One day I was scared out of my mind because I didn't want to lose any more friends. I didn't want people to just be like, "Oh, well, she's just too much now," because at any moment she can be sick and she might need me to do something for her. I didn't want to deal with it, but my best friend is so bomb, y'all. Like, it didn't matter to her. She was like, "Okay, it's cool." And ever since then, we met each other when we were 13, 14. We about to be, she's 20. She's about to be 21. I'm about to be 20. I want to tell you, that's going to be my girl probably for the rest of my life, just because she was probably the first person that showed me that things could be better, and that my friendships could be better, and that I could trust people and not be so afraid to let people in my life and let people know the things that I was going through, because it wasn't bad. Like, people go through this every day, whether it's sickle cell or whether it's anything else. Like, everybody's going through something, and she had to let me know that. And I thank God for her, because truthfully, if she didn't let me know that, oh, best believe me, I'd still be walking around here with my mouth shut and only my mother and my family knowing what I was going through. In my freshman year of college, most of my friends went away. I didn't go away to college my first year. I did community college at home, mainly just because I wanted to be able to learn my body more. I didn't want to go out and be negligent with my health and then end up backtracking and not being able to have the college experience, not being able to just be my age, you know? So my hematologist, who was the most honest person I've probably ever met, he said, if you don't do your part, that will be your biggest downfall in life. Sickle cell, you can learn that. That's a routine. You can beat some of the things that you've been through because you need to learn your body. And that's what I took that year out to do. I started drinking water more. I started eating better. I did, when I went away to college, I did start eating crazy, but I still kept it up with my water and everything. I took my medicine every day. When I was in high school, I would probably take it maybe like twice a week, and I'm supposed to take it every single day. And I learned from my mistakes, of course, immaturity as well, because when you're 16, you can't be the professor of life yet. So it took me some time, but I appreciate everything that I've been through. I appreciate the downfalls. I appreciate the people that have been in and out of my life. I appreciate the people that have left, which have given me more room and openness to brighter situations and nicer people. I appreciate my endurance and my longevity, that I know that the end is not just today. I know when I can get in my moods and I'll be like, okay, forget it. But I know now that I'm older that, okay, you can have a bad day, but it will get better. And truthfully, if I could talk to my younger self, I would tell myself that. I would tell myself not to get so down, not to get so, not so butthurt, but not to get so upset when things don't go my way, because it's for a reason. And my reason now, I feel like, is I can tell people and I can advocate and be my own advocate at that. So I can teach people what to do, or giving awareness. A lot of people don't know that they even have the sickle cell trait. The reason I got sickle cell anemia is because both my mother and my father had the trait, and that's how I got it. It's so many people walking around with the trait that do not know. And I take complete appreciation for Sickle Cell Awareness Month, because I feel like information is always needed, and so many warriors have so many stories to tell. And if you know somebody with sickle cell, please talk to them. If you don't know somebody with sickle cell, find them and talk to them. If you have sickle cell and you know somebody else with it, talk to them. Advocate for them, advocate for yourself, and just appreciate the moment, because every day is absolutely precious.